All right, it is Wednesday, December 17th. We are talking a day early, but I'm Jonathan from Convoy. I wanted to we want to have a little bit of a different format today where we're getting a lot of questions right now, Mike, on why the heck the market isn't moving when all the social media influencers and the news articles are saying that mortgage rates and rates in general should be lower. So, what the heck is going on? Do you think right
Yeah,
now?
yeah. So I think there's a couple of things, a couple of strings that we should pull on. There's the Fed, then there's QT ending, then there's QE starting. There's a lot of people, frankly, talking out their ass who really don't know what's going on. So let's break this apart. So first, Fed meeting. The Fed lowered a quarter point. They've now done 3 successive quarter point cuts, and for the most part, mortgage rates have been up the day after the Fed cut. And there's a reason for that. The Fed controls what's called the overnight rate. You can't get any shorter than the overnight rate. 30-year mortgages are most influenced by the 10-year mortgage. And the 10-year mortgage, or the 10-year treasury, sorry, the 10-year treasury, that has generally been going up or kind of stuck where it's at. And you add on top of that mortgage spreads, which, oh, by the way, I think, Jonathan, mortgage spreads are the story of 2025. I don't know if people realize this. If we had the same mortgage spreads we had last year, we would have rates over 7%, right? So rates are down not because of the Fed cutting, not because of the 10-year, but because of mortgage spreads. And we are still sitting at about 30 basis points or 30 bips above normal. Normal is about 185. We're still at like 215. So again, we still have room to fall, but that was the story of 2025 mortgage spreads. So that's step one. Now, QT stopping. That was a big deal, right? Quantitative tightening is where the Fed extracts liquidity from the system. You could look at our mortgage business as a liquidity business, right? The more liquidity, lower rates go. So by the Fed extracting liquidity, it was keeping rates higher than they normally would be. And they did that on purpose. They were trying to shrink their balance sheet because it had gotten too big. So that's true. Then where I think a lot of people are going wrong, they're saying QE started because the Fed said, Jerome Powell said, we're going to start buying $40 billion in treasuries. However, I think what a lot of people missed is they didn't check the duration. They're buying the front end. They're buying out to 3 years with a focus on 90 days and 1 year. So again, not directly being a buyer of 10-year mortgages, it's called duration, is not really impacting mortgage rates. And that's why a lot of the influencers who are screaming, QE has started, $40 billion, blah, 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 rates to crash. They're just wrong because they haven't matched duration. And that's where a lot of people got wrong. But let's leave a little carrot out there for 26. They're currently committed to 40 billion of 3 years or less. That could change overnight. They could go to duration. And if you're in the camp of we want lower rates, if you are, let's just be honest, if you're President Trump and you want lower mortgage rates, the best way to get them is either have the Fed or the Treasury or both buy mortgage-backed securities. You want to know why mortgage rates collapsed? It was because the Fed was the largest buyer of MBS and the system was just feeding it as much as they could. We are currently not buying MBS. But if you are the president of the United States, you want to declare a housing emergency, you want a new Fed president, you want lower rates, you're talking about wanting rates at 1 or 2%, you've got to ask yourself, do we buy mortgage-backed securities in 2026? And if that happens, rates will go dramatically lower. So that's where I'll start with this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all things that you've been saying constantly, and people have been, trying to digest. I think where they miss out, and the most of the conversation that I've been having that has been a little bit of a slip was, okay, the Fed is lowering or the Fed is lowering their federal funds rate, which should in turn, because what people are used to right now is the pattern is Fed's lower, mortgage rates go up a little bit, and then they
Hmm.
start, kind of tinkering down a little bit, right? Back to
Sure.
where they were before it shoots back up after another meeting. This time around, what seems to be happening is it didn't shoot up as much after the meeting, and it's kind of staying in that position, especially with the yields. Like we were below 4 for just a minute, and on the 10-year treasury, and now
Yeah,
we've been sitting above 4 for a good number of weeks.
for sure.
And what was really interesting is I had a client I was talking to from 6 months ago versus now, and he was one of the waiters, right? He was like, I'm waiting. And pricing actually 6 months ago was just ever so slightly better
Mm.
than it is today. And he said, what the heck is going on? And I kind of explained the same thing, but also added the fact that there was a little more optimism, I think, back in 6 months ago of where the rates could be at the end of this year, that
Hmm.
drove potential, like the margin that you said, the spread, a
Yeah,
little tighter than it is like right today, which the
correct.
margin, like you said, it's a lot smaller than it is or was. So people have to understand, I think, and put their heads around that just because the Federal Reserve is talking about cutting rates, that does not equate to mortgage rates going down, or in general, housing markets starting to boom up again because the Fed decides to cut rates 1/4% or 0.5%, right? Because I think so many people are using Jerome Powell's words as the word of God and where the market's going to move. But following up to that, obviously people are gearing up for the new year. I know we have a couple loans in process with you.
Hmm.
So, and you're cashing out, pulling out money.
Yeah.
So, what is the reason you're doing that now versus, waiting like everyone else wants to do it?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. First and foremost, as somebody who's been in the game a lot longer, the rates that I get quoted really don't mean a whole lot because I'm making a strategic decision that will be a lot. I'm not going to play this game with to get 6% on my money. I'm playing to get 10, 12, 15%. So if the rate's 6.3 or 5.9, that's not going to make me change my decision. The reason I started 2 6-figure cash outs with you was because I want to have cash ready to write disrespectful cash offers again. I think we could be entering an environment, specifically in the large multifamily space, where having cash is handy. To be put numbers on this is 5 units and above. It's commercial financing. I've been talking about this for several years now. I now believe it's around the corner. I'm seeing the early signs of stress in my market, which I look at every freaking single day. So I'm starting to see the setup to what I saw in 2010, where I ultimately bought a bunch in 2012. So I I want to have the cash ready. I want to be able to swoop in, talk to a community bank, a credit union, and go, yes, I can take that half full building off your hands that needs to be remodeled for cash, or let me put 100 grand in your bank, and you could finance the deal, which they did for me 3 times last time. So I'm getting ready. It takes time. You never know when a deal will come across your plate. I'm kind of like Ted Williams, right? I don't have to swing. And Ted Williams, who you don't know, is the last baseball player to hit 400. I don't have to swing at anything. But if you're going to throw me a fat pitch down the middle, I'd be an idiot not to have cash ready, right? You've seen my financial statement. I have lots of equities, dead equity sitting there on purpose. And, I'm just going to go, I'm going to go pick up, multiple 6 figures and be ready to strike if something comes. So, and the last thing is, if you've looked at my career or you read my book, One Rental at a Time, I often do what the opposite of what the crowd does. And today the crowd is waiting. So I'm not going to wait. When the crowd's rushing to the edge, I'm going to wait. And right now the crowd's waiting. And I'm like, well, great. I'm going to, I like less competition, I guess is the answer. And I
Yeah,
love the fact that everybody's waiting because it makes my job easier.
for sure. And I mean, to the audience and everyone listening, obviously, Mike like practices what he preached. Like everyone believes that, but when you actually see it, like because I've seen it, you actually practice what you preach. And I think that's a lot of thing that a lot of influencers, a lot of people on social media don't have, right?
Yeah.
Is the actual concrete behind the actual words. So that I think that's great. Thank you, Mike, for sharing. I think that hopefully gets people starting to move again in terms of motion to create that kind of motion creates motion in the movement where everyone else is kind of flat. And I think that's where everyone needs to be in a mindset sense right now. And we are obviously dealing with a lot of people that are doing cash outs. We're doing more cash outs than ever right now. So just to put it out
Yeah.
there, yeah, like
Yeah.
more cash outs than ever. Even more so than people trying to jam purchases in to the end of the
Mm,
year for the big beautiful bill. We're
wow.
doing more cash outs for people that are, you know, sitting on that debt equity right now to pull out multiple six figures, some even seven figures, to try
Nice.
to do exactly what you're talking about. So I think this is the time overall. And obviously, like I said, the spread is so low. Rates are still great, right? I mean, we're
Yeah.
doing 5.875. You can buy it down to 5.375 if you want to, for anyone that's, you know, wanting to do that, or stay in the fives or be in the low sixes for cheaper. Like all of this is available. And while it is, it's like, you know, you never know when that spread, who's going to play with that, you know, spread and jump up again. We don't know. So it's better to kind of take advantage of everything as it is right now when it's kind of more predictable, I think. Yeah.
Couldn't. The last thing I would tell people is you got to work with Convoy, Jonathan, his partner, Dustin, because sometimes it's just a math equation, and lots of folks don't know the calculation on mortgages. And again, why am I taking action now? Yeah, you know what? Rates might be an eighth lower next year, but I'm going to be operating in an environment where competition is doubled. I'm going to not be able to get seller credits. I'm not going to be able to get, disrespectful offers countered. And again, you make your money when you buy, and you make your money when you buy when there's less competition. So again, just, ask yourself, do you want more or less competition? If the answer is less, you need to be playing with your chips right now. And that's what I'm doing. I started 2 with you, and I do what I say I'm going to do. So it should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to reach out to us, go to convoyhomeloans.com. Let us know you came from ORAT. We have a new app actually that's rolled out live in the App Store and Google Play Store. So this is
Nice.
for Android and Apple users. It's we're trying to streamline the process, have everything uploaded there, communication on there. So it'll be a cool way to kind of interact. I'll post up the links on School so that everyone has it, so the
Cool.
download links. Yeah. But that's the future. We're going to stay on there. But for now, convoyhomeloans.com. Let us know you came from ORAT. We look forward to be speaking with everybody.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate
All
you. And
right.
again,
Thank
thank you
you.
for helping me and Olivia with these refis. We
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Thank you.
Mhm.